Today we're going to be installing a MBRP catback exhaust on a 2012 Toyota Tacoma. Not that it matters, but this is a 2012 TRD off-road and slightly lifted, but none of that should matter. I went with this exhaust because it was relatively cheap compared to others, but had reviews that said it wasn't too noisy, didn't drone, anything like that. And mainly because my current muffler has some holes rusted in it, and that's getting a little loud and annoying. And being a truck that I will drive extended lots of miles in at a time and spend a lot of time in, I'd like it to be a little quieter on the inside. And so bonus if it sounds a little bit better with this different kind of muffler, flows better. Supposedly people say you do gain a little bit of get up or miles per gallon, but I'm seriously doubting that that's going to be noticeable. But either way, it needs to happen. I've got a hole in my exhaust, so it should be better than that. So it looks like here the kit comes with, we've got the exhaust tip, the muffler itself, and then all the tubes to do that. It looks like this is a universal for second gens here, because in the instructions we have a point where it actually calls for you have to cut down the longer intermediate pipe, which I'm guessing is the difference between whether you have a double cab or a long bed, or the short bed, long bed variation. But yeah, so first thing we're gonna do, I'd like to do a little bit of to see what degree it actually got quieter, louder, and see how that affects. So I'm actually gonna use a decibel measuring app here. I think X, what's it called? It's called Decibel X, free, and you can take readings and get that. And because it is the free version, you can only save like 30-second increments, but yeah. So I'll get a baseline of just kind of basic noise, how everything is, and then then I'll record a tailpipe sample, a cab sample, and then I'll do the exhaust change and take another exhaust tip sample and a cab sample. And then through the app you can actually email yourself CVS, I think CVS files, and then you can actually plot it on Excel. So I'll try to put some screenshots of the before and afters of the sound and how it affects. And so that'll be step one, will be exhaust change, and we'll see the change in the decibels in the cab and outside of it. And then after that, I'm gonna actually do I've got some sound deadening I'm gonna put on the rear wall of the cab to try to quiet it down a little bit more. Just because under the seats there's really nothing there, it's just metal under the plastic. So hopefully that quiets it down a little bit, just to make long road trips a little more bearable. But yeah, should go good. Okay, so now we are under the vehicle. We can see right where the two sides come together are joined here from the either side of this V6, and they meet at this one. We got some drops here because I recently sprayed this with WD-40. Try to give it a better chance of coming loose. We've got, this is a 14 millimeter if you're actually trying to do this yourself. We've got try to get this thing loose, and then if that doesn't work, we've got a please come loose, and then we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully goal, don't break it. Alrighty, so now those are out. It took a little more than I thought. Hopefully my bolts are good. So now it's time to get it out of these spacers, which we'll see what I have left, what I can just cut off because I have replacement parts for, and so on. Okay, so I think my approach will be to remove this rear one first because it's going in the opposite direction, and then hopefully, although they are rubber so they should flex quite a bit, I should be able to hammer the other ones back and forth, or forwards and backwards, and then once I get this one, which should be holding in the opposite direction. So goal will be to remove this one and then work back. A slightly longer than I expected battle. We got it off. Kind of, I think the recipe was some WD-40 to get it loosened up, and then I got this. First I started out with a skinnier screwdriver, wedged it through to kind of break up the seal a little bit, and then I went with a bigger drift pin here. That's weird, that's magnetic. Yeah, and then just kind of brute forced it off. Hopefully these other ones will go a little easier. Okay, so we got the exhaust out of the vehicle. As we kind of suspected, this one was the most difficult, but these went out pretty easy. For these I just used the channel locks and did that method. It worked great. We can see here kind of a reason why it's kind of loud. But yeah, holes all over the bottom. There's a lot of junk in there. I think there's nothing left. But yeah, so it looks like, so you got the rear one, then you have two, and then one. I did rear, front, and then back, and I think I would do it again that method. Yeah, time for the new. Okay, so looking at our directions here, we really honestly didn't read any of this, but now looking, because we're going to have to cut, probably should read the directions. I know, kind of stupid. But anyway, so now that we're installing the new exhaust, it appears that this piece is different lengths. So double cab short bed 45, which is what it is now, and double cab, no, my bad. Anyway, regardless, I have double cab short box, so I'm going to need to cut this down to 32 inches. So, and if we look at measures from the outside of this flange, which is this face right here, so so we measured from here to here, 32 inches. When I'm cutting around tube, I like to use this 2-inch or so tape because it also works as a pipe wrap, so that you have a straight line all the way around the pipe and you're not crooked or any of that. But so we're going to do that, but first here I'm going to take this okay, I might need the rest of the exhaust to lay it up, so just to make sure my length is right. So roughly just throwing this thing together, we know that this piece right here is going to curve out. We've got a mount there, we've got a mount there, we've got this one, which is an entirely different shape, and we still have these in the right location. And if we cut it at our 32, we're going to line up good. So I think we're going to make that cut, call it good. done cutting. Pretty square enough for this. Okay, so comparing the exhaust locations, if we have these sitting like this here, lined up, this one is part of the muffler, but since we're actually putting the muffler in a different location, they've got this bracket here, and we'll have this clamp. It'll go here, and this will actually, with this keyhole, it'll go over that nut and then slide down like that. So I guess it matters which way this goes, because it's whatever side you need to put this nut on, because right now it wants to be in this location facing this way, so we'd have to flip-flop the nut if we wanted to go this way. Looking at this one compared to these locations, I think we have to go backwards. So I'll move this around. I'm going to install this really loosely, and then we'll try to start putting it on the vehicle. Okay, so different approach here. We've got the muffler off. We've got rubber piece installed on the clamp here. I've greased those up. I'm going to try to install this without the big heavy muffler. Hopefully make it easier. We're gonna reinstall these. Now we got to install this last little bit here, which, looking at this picture right here, we have a new spacer for this one, so it's got to go on, and then it actually goes up to that first bend. So we're gonna want to grab that for sure. That went a lot easier than I thought. Okay, last step, I'm gonna install this exhaust tip it came with. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it, so I might get rid of it after. If it hangs down, I'm gonna tear it off going off-road, but we'll put it on for now. Too big, I can't fit it in. on there. This is what we get from the outside. Can't tell. You look down there, you can see it. We got shiny exhaust tip, not really my style, but we'll run it till it gets tore off. And yeah, I could powder coat it black, but I really don't care. I'll just probably take it off before I do that. Alrighty, time for the startup. Don't know that it sounds much different. We'll run a test, and I'll put those results in right here.